Um, thank you for being willing to jump on. I know that you and I've never met,
Right.
but I've heard a lot about you, and I know a lot about you.
Yeah.
Actually, out of all the people that we have lined up to talk with, I was really excited and interested to talk with you more than a lot, just because I've never talked with somebody, one of the kids or one of the people that we represent, that are going through it themselves,
Right.
and
Because I suppose most of them are very little, and so you mostly just communicate with the parents and the families.
that's exactly right. I think that the average age of probably a child that we learned about is like 5 years old.
Right.
So, and my son was diagnosed when he was 7, but he doesn't really remember life without treatment and
Right.
doctors prior to 7 years old. So, I know that you were diagnosed in, well, I think it was July of 18, right?
Yep. I was 17. I was going on 18 in September.
Okay, all right. And were you a senior in high school?
Yep. I was going into my senior year.
Going into senior year, and you're from Granville, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know a lot about your story, but I think it would be, if you're willing to share, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people would like to hear it from your perspective.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it was summer of 18. I was just finished junior year of high school. I was preparing for my senior year. My summer was very booked. I had football camps lined up. I was planning on going to DC through FFA. I woke up for work one day in the middle of June, and my side just ached really bad. And I worked for Roger Ward. It's a moving company, so it was pretty labor intensive. So I just thought it was my body getting used to the labor, muscle cramps, that kind of thing. But I got up and I went to work, and it was just some of the most awful pain I've ever felt. And after a few hours, it didn't pass. I texted mom and said that I need to go to the ER when I'm done with work and get this figured out because it was just killing me. And my mom, before, which it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I had health issues like asthma, really bad allergies. So I was a very needy child, but my mom always just assumed when it came to like medical stuff before all this that it's probably nothing. You don't need to go to the doctor most likely. And I remember when we were going to the ER, she's like, "I still think that you just need to poop," and I'm like, "Mom, I'm I'm almost 18 years old. I know that I don't need to poop." And she might get mad at me for saying that, but she she thought she just swore that I just had to poop, and I'm like, "No, mom, I know what that feels like. This is not this." And we were just googling symptoms, which I'm sure you've done for your son. Everybody goes down those wormholes, and
Oh, yes.
we thought it was appendicitis, and we went to the ER in Minot. We told them everything, and they were like, "Yeah, that does sound like it. We'll run labs, and then we'll do a scan." And when labs came in, all the numbers were elevated to where you would think it was appendicitis. And then they were just waiting on the scans, and we were waiting for like I want to say 2-3 hours before the scans came in. And the doctor came in and told us that I had a tumor. And I mean, I just really was in shock. Obviously, I mean, it's some things where you always see it on TV and hear about people getting these diagnoses, but like you never think it'll happen to you. And
Right.
this was just a tumor, and they said it was tumor on my right adrenal gland. And he's like, "You're gonna have to go to Fargo and get it removed eventually." He's like, "But you most likely shouldn't have to worry." He said, uh, "Tumor or cancers from the adrenal gland are very rare," and he said, especially for my age, you don't find
Yeah.
it. But so I was in bed for like 2 weeks after that. Then we, around 2 weeks, I think, I can't remember exactly, and we went to Fargo, got the surgery. They ran the biopsy, and it came back as adrenal cancer. And I mean, it was just absolutely bizarre. And we really couldn't believe it. And it seemed like every doctor appointment, instead of getting answers, we were just led to more questions, especially with my case, because I'm the only one in the state of North Dakota that I know of with this kind of cancer. And I'm the only patient anybody has seen with this cancer around here. So, I mean, it's been a learning process for all of us. And then they took the tumor out, and there was no signs of spread at that point. So we thought we had got it before. And so I recovered from surgery, and things got back to normal besides a 3-month visit. We had to go back to Fargo so I could get cleared to play football because I had lost function in my right kidney from the surgery. So I was back to normal. Everything was good, and I was able to play football for about 2 weeks. And then I can't even remember the exact feeling. I just started to feel a little sick, and we got worried, So we went to the ER again. We did scans, and it showed little tumors on my lungs, but we thought it might be an infection. It wasn't. And wound up going back to Fargo. I had a biopsy on my lung. I had a port put in, and I had a piece of my lung removed for the biopsy, and it came back. That came back as malignancy. So that's when I started chemotherapy, which was the first week of November of 18. So I started chemo that week, and I did 2 rounds, and then we did it might have been 3 rounds. I can't really remember.
Okay.
It's 2 or 3 rounds, and then we did scans, and it showed the chemotherapy wasn't working. So we got referred to, I can't remember the hospital in Colorado because they have specialists there. And I got approved for immunotherapy after that, and we learned that didn't work after 3 rounds, something like that. And so at this point, it's May of 19. I'm just about to graduate, and we really didn't know what to do because the immunotherapy wasn't working, and it was showing progression. And I mean, my doctor basically told us to prepare for the worst. She said in May of last year that I probably have roughly 3 to 4 months to live. She said, we don't know. Said, don't know what's going to happen, but she didn't expect me to go to college. She wanted us to go and start looking at stuff for hospice at home, stuff like that. And I really didn't care what they said because my mentality through it all is I'm not sick unless I feel sick. And this whole time, even through progression and whatnot, I never felt sick. I could always get up and do what I needed to do. And me and my mom just wound up looking for other options online, alternative treatments, because we were done with conventional treatment. They couldn't do anymore. And we wound up finding a thread, a blog online. His name is Joe Tippins. And basically, this guy had non-small cell lung cancer, which is one of the most aggressive forms of cancer there is. And this guy was in a similar situation to me. He had 3 months to live, was done with conventional treatment, and he was looking for options like us. And he found a thread on his alma mater's page, which was Oklahoma State University or something like that, and a vet who had a brain tumor. This is just from my memory of the blog. I can't remember the exact story. But this vet had a brain tumor, and she had decided to try dog dewormer along with some other supplements and stuff. And she had reduced her brain tumor completely down. And this guy was like, well, there's no other option, so it can't hurt. So he started doing this, and he was in a similar situation, was told he had like 3 months to live, and basically all hope was lost. Well, he goes back in for his 3 month scans, and the cancer is completely gone. And it was just the most bizarre thing his oncologist had ever seen. And he was at MD Anderson. And so, I mean, me and my mom decided, it's not going to hurt to try. We already got told the worst thing you could hear, I guess. And so at that point, I just said, heck with it. I ordered the dog dewormer and the supplements along with it, and I started taking it. And that's basically been what my treatment has been for the past year almost. And in November of 19, we got scans done, and for the first time we saw regression. There's still some growth, but I mean, we saw regression for the first time besides surgery, which was just amazing news, and we didn't expect it either. And my doctor said that really there could be no explanation for it, because the only other thing I'd done was palliative radiation to my liver, but the regression was too far away from the liver to have been the radiation, she said. So, I mean, we could only assume that it was this dewormer and the other medications along with it. So that's what I've been taking since. And yeah.
Wow.
It's
an unbelievable story.
That's crazy. I know. I mean, from start to finish, from having one of the most rare cancers in the world, which it's rare in itself, and then it's even more rare for my age. It's mostly older people and younger people, and right where I'm at, I mean, you just don't find it. And then the whole thing with the dog dewormer, explaining it to people, it just blows their minds. But
yeah, I've never heard of such a thing. But like you say, if conventional treatments are completed, you have no other options.
No other options.
I would you try anything, right?
Exactly.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And when you were saying, so it's called adrenocortical carcinoma.
Yep.
Correct, right? So from what you're in speaking with your mom, she said that typically that is a 1 in a million, but like you were saying, it either affects younger kids or older people, and mainly women.
Yeah.
So for you, is it right that it's 1 in 3 million chance?
I mean, something like that. I don't
know. Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so unbelievable. But seriously, thank you for telling us the entire story. The one thing that it just, to me, it's very inspiring to read and to hear everything that you went through and everything that you've gone through, and yet you went to college.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of had. I have little man syndrome. I'm 5'3". And I've always felt like I've just had to prove myself in anything, whether it was being competitive with classmates in school or football and basketball. I mean, I've just always felt like I had to prove, even in situations where I don't. It's just a thing with short guys, I guess. I don't know. And, and I just, right away when I got diagnosed, I mean, I could have wallowed in it and been sorry for myself, or I could have just attacked it every day mentally. And I mean, I credit that more than the dog dewormer, honestly, because to me, if you let yourself lay down, then the cancer is gonna spread without ease. Our minds are very powerful, and I think that it's just not an option to let it kill me.
I think that so many people would just, put college, especially, at 18 years old, you know what, I'm going to put college off. I'm going to stay home, and I'm going to, stay home with mom and dad. And I'm not going to, chase these things and everything. And to see that you were just you lived your life the same. Would you say you lived your life the same?
Yeah, I tried to not let it affect my life as much as possible, because I got so tired of doctors and all this and that. And I mean, even when I was doing chemotherapy, I only missed school when I was in Fargo. I made myself get up and go every day when I was home, just because I'm not the kind of person that likes to sit and relax. I can't just lay around. I get extremely bored. So I just decided that I'm just gonna not let it affect my life as much as possible.
Wow, that's incredible. So what are you in school for?
I'm majoring in social science education. I started in sport management, but which if I never got diagnosed, I would probably still be on that path. If I never got diagnosed, I don't think that I'd still be in this state for school. But everything I went to, it gave me a new appreciation for my community and my home and the state and stuff because of just the warmth that I was surrounded with and the communities that supported me through all this. It gave me a newfound appreciation for this place. And so I was in sport management for a semester because I wanted to coach college football, but I decided that I want to stick around this area and I want to, I guess, help affect more people's lives around here in any way I can. And so I decided I want to teach high school and I could coach sports through that and still be a part of that. And I could still help my communities around here.
It's incredible, LJ, and I hope you hear that a lot from a lot of people.
Yeah.
That everything that you've been through and that you're continuing to go through, and out of it, you take that, you have a higher appreciation for community, and you want to be a teacher. I mean, that's. I feel like I should give you some sort of a medal, or I don't know. I mean, that's a really inspiring story, and I thank you for sharing it with us.
Yeah.
I really do. So when's the next scans? When's the next checkup?
With scans and checkups, I kind of play it by ear and go when I decide because, for what was close to like 9 months, all we got was bad news. And I was just so sick of going back and hearing the same stuff. And my mom doesn't like it, and I understand that part because she worries about me. I'm her son, obviously. But for me, I was just getting tired of the same old bad news and tired of the trips to far going back. And so it's just something that I kind of play by ear. The only reason why I even got the last scan that I did was because in last fall, I got an ulcer on my stomach, which wasn't even related to the cancer. And it wound up making me lose like 20 pounds. I couldn't eat anything. And the worst part about it all, it was not related to cancer at all. It was completely separate. So I was in a hospital for like 5 days that wasn't even related to my health issues. And we got a scan because we were wondering if it was the cancer and found out it wasn't. And that just kind of pissed me off. But
Well, come on. Everything you've been through, and now you have something happen where you can't even eat?
yeah,
Come on.
It was ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. No kidding. Well, I again, thank you so much for sharing everything. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you'd like to mention?
Well, I don't know. I really do appreciate your guys' organization and the help you guys do for families. So just want to say that.
Well, we're happy to do it, and like you, going through this and being with Brave the Shave and working with the communities, it is incredible to see. Or I can relate when you say that you have a new appreciation for the communities and the people, and it's a very giving area. So we just know that we're always here for you. We're always going to be here for you. Everybody at Brave the Shave, I'm sure they're all going to be very interested in watching this interview and learning a little bit more about you and actually meeting you in person or in video person, I suppose, nowadays. So thank you for being with us, and take care. And I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. You too. It was good to meet you.
Thanks, LJ.